calendar may say spring, but it's going to feel like summer for parts of the south and southeast heading into next week. I'm meteorologist Ricky Cody with Look at Your Weather on the Ones. Extreme heat for many of you, the first of what will likely be several more weeks of it as we head into summer, and that is because our feels like temperature could easily exceed 100 degrees in many spots next week. I want to show you, this was one of the new products that the National Weather Service unveiled this year. This is the heat risk map. We're going to be talking about this quite a bit. It's a 7-day outlook of where we think the heat could have impacts to our health. So it takes into account not only the dew at the Earth's surface, but also population. It looks at the actual forecast, the heat index, the relative humidity, and you can see by next Friday, where you're seeing this shade of red, major impacts to all people across parts of South Texas, and then you see the orange, moderate concerns from Florida all across the northern sections of the Gulf of Mexico. A reminder, you have to be aware of what your body is telling you. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke. With exhaustion, you're feeling that dizziness, you're feeling kind of the heavy sweating, as well as probably some weakness, especially in your joints. This is when you need to get to a cool area fast. Heat stroke, that's when you start looking confused or feeling confused. You're getting dizzy, possibly even becoming unconscious. That is when you need to call 911. Heat kills more people every year than any other natural phenomenon, including flash flooding. So please, we're heading into summer. You have to pay attention. Will not be all that bad. Look at Houston, for example. Your average high temperature is 83 this time of the year, and we're going to be just marginally above average heading into next week. Now, that being said, here's a look at one model, one of our long-range models, about feels like temperatures. I mean, we could be feeling like 100 degrees in San Antonio, low to mid-90s across parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, again, closer to the water source where all of the heat and humidity will be. And then we're looking at 80s, maybe feeling like the 90s in triple digits. Look at Daytona, Florida, for example, as we head into Thursday. So not only are we looking to stay warmer than normal as we head into the next 6 to 10 days, but this forecast likely going to feel more like summer.
It's a device about the size spring. All starters at Churchill Downs and at all tracks across Kentucky have worn this sensor. Spectrum's David Williams has an update on what the device actually is and how it's used at the upcoming Kentucky Derby.
There's something special about watching horses do their thing with the iconic twin spires in the background. Working with horses like these in the equine industry is a labor of love for Dr. David Lambert. It has been since the 1970s.
It's the spirit of being around the horses. There's a presence about horses which is really quite unique.
Dr. Lambert is the CEO of StrideSafe. It's a system designed to try and help protect horses that are racing. The device itself weighs 3 ounces and size-wise, it can fit in your hand.
They contain an accelerometer system which is telling us how the horse is moving side to side, forwards and backwards and up and down planes, and it's also got in here a GPS modality, so we can tell plus or minus about 2 inches where the horse is at any moment during a race.
The device goes into a pocket like this, then it gets put under the saddle during a race. Neither the horse nor the rider can feel it. After the race, the data is uploaded to the cloud.
The information from the race is downloaded, and we study all the strides and all the data of all the horses in the race. And then this is information presently which we're developing for the benefit of the trainer so that he can be better informed about the welfare of his animal, and he can then take the necessary decision to get the horse diagnosed or treated.
Dr. Lambert showed me a case of a horse at Churchill Downs last of the horse's PET scan. These bright yellow spots are the areas in the horse's fetlock, or lower leg joint, that are inflamed and could potentially lead to a catastrophic or fatal injury. Instead, the horse got to rest and got saved.
By using the sensors with a forward-thinking trainer who's right on top of the health and welfare of his horses, and with the support of Churchill putting all this money into a PET scanner, and thanks to the support of the Kentucky Racing Commission backing this research, all of this came together in this case history, and this horse's life was saved. So that's the beginning of how this is going to work.
Last spring, 12 horses died at Churchill Downs. A HISA investigation found no singular cause.
As a steward for the horse, as a veterinarian, our goal is to try to help prevent those from happening.
Sensors. Dr. William Farmer is Churchill Downs' equine medical director. He says they want the technology to be a helpful tool for attending veterinarians and trainers who take care of horses daily. Their whole goal is the safety and welfare of the horses.
We're getting ready to open here in just a couple of weeks, and again, our plan is to be able to offer for our horsemen to have every horse that races will be wearing the Stride Safe sensor again. That's our plan.
Dr. Farmer says ultimately the horses are the ones who will benefit the most. At Churchill Downs in Louisville, I'm David Williams, Spectrum News.
That'll do it for now. I'm Josh Robin. Thanks so much for watching. Your Spectrum News in 90 is coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
The 2024 election will decide who leads our nation and the balance of power in Congress, impacting all of us. From Capitol Hill to the Oval Office, let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth coverage with our dedicated experts in local politics. Strengthening democracy by informing your community. That's our mission. Available on all of your favorite devices, exclusively on Spectrum.
At Spectrum, our workforce of over 100,000 employees are all located right here in the U.S. You can find them in our stores, in the field, and in our call centers with 100 cities and neighborhoods they live in, with the reliable services that everyone counts on, making us one of America's most trusted companies. We're Spectrum, creating jobs and opportunities across the country, and proud to be 100% U.S.-based.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."